The Fourth Court of Appeals is a Texas state court. They don't understand. They want to make me Hispanic. They want me to identify as Hispanic. And when everything that I learn more and more ratifies and confirms the fact that, my people were just ensnared in Kingsville and they never recognized us. I have been doing almost nothing but fighting these issues for maybe the last 10 years. You have some incredibly educated historians who write and set out all the history and so forth and so on, but they are not trained in law. And unless you are trained in law, you miss how the United States of America developed, because it was the lawyers who devised it. It is the law that tells me that the state of Texas is illegal. I filed an action for declaratory relief, essentially I sued the state of Texas, the city of San Antonio, the city of Balcones Heights, and somebody that I was working for at one time named Star Shuttle. And I sued him and I said, look, the state of Texas is illegal, and it's illegal because when they came here and acted to annex Texas, they said to the United States, if you know the history of Texas, the United States said of them at the time of the Texians, it said, well, if we're going to annex you, you need to make a declaration. Make a declaration that you are the people from here and that you've established a republican form of government. So those are essentially the two factual declarations that these Texians made. Well, that's a fraud. That's a blatant fraud, and everybody now understands it because they were not the people from here, and they knew it. Everybody knew that we were here. They could argue we were too disorganized. I came up with the idea, well, the way I can put this into the courts is I can say, you've never recognized human rights in us, which is true. They've never recognized human rights in the indigenous people. And so therefore, if we don't understand that, by the way, that they've never addressed it on the merits. The city of San Antonio, the state of Texas, everybody, Balcones Heights, Star Shuttle, all of them have been all about saying, hey, we don't have to answer to him. We've got immunity. This is our government. And so that's what they've been doing, is just saying procedurally, we're not going to answer. The next step is the Texas Supreme Court and eventually the U.S. Supreme Court. The problem is that it's expensive, and not only is it expensive, it is complicated to no end, because the way that they avoided it was by procedural maneuvering. There's nothing right about it. There's nothing fair about it. They know what they're doing. I go in front of them and they say, we want you to dismiss this case, Your Honor, because we've got immunity. And I say, how do they have immunity if I'm arguing that they're void ab initio? State of Texas didn't become a government until 1845 when they got annexed. And if they annexed on the basis that they're the people from here, we were the people from here. Government of the people, by the people, and for the people, right? It's the people of a place. Nobody disputes that. Nobody disputes that it's the human beings of a location who are entitled to create their own government. Except it didn't work here. Because we were here. We're still here. That's the reason why they want to say, Munoz is Hispanic, just like everybody else. The people that made the Constitution of the United States were the white founding fathers of the 13 colonies. Well, my people were already here in Texas centuries before that, but we never took part in that. We weren't a part of that convention or anything. They hadn't even thought about conquering us. They were over there making their own thing, 1776. Texians repeated what they had done over there less than 50 years earlier. They repeated here and said, oh, okay, declare ourselves the people from here and we'll do another revolution and now we create a government. Oh, wait a minute, what? Are still trying to exterminate us rather than, and at least, if nothing else, we should talk about it openly. Nobody does. Why?